I'm Peggy Treland. I'm a nurse care manager at Treland Care Management in Waukesha, Wisconsin. This is my colleague, Mary Ellen Casey.
Hello.
She's also an RN care manager at Treland Care Management. Um, we are a small company in Waukesha of nurse care managers. We help people manage all aspects of their lives um, in their homes, and not just medically, but also socially. Um, it has come. We've dealt with a lot of clients over the years, and financial abuse is a big problem in Waukesha County, as it is in all counties. Recently, we've had a client who suffered quite a bit of financial abuse because a friend of his noticed that something was wrong. He cared enough to actually call the Waukesha ADRC, who made a referral to Adult Protective Services, who had an immediate response and came out to the home and did an assessment and found out that yes, he had almost lost his complete life savings from financial abuse. They have taken the steps necessary and got an appointment for a guardian of the estate, which had saved him from losing absolutely everything. Unfortunately, this happened quite a bit in all counties, but in Waukesha County, as well in the last year, they've had a record number of reports of financial abuse. In our practice, 1 out of every 10 of our clients, 1 out of every 10 of our clients has suffered some form of financial abuse um, in our current practice. So I would like to introduce Attorney Norm Geschko, who is currently the guardian of the estate for one of our clients who has suffered financial abuse.
Hi, I'm Attorney Norm Geschko of Geschko Law Offices, currently in Lake Mills, Wisconsin. I had worked in an office in Waukesha, Wisconsin for a number of years. I have been practicing in the elder law area for almost my entire 30-plus year career and specializing in elder financial abuse cases for about 25 of those. As Peggy and Mary just mentioned, I am involved in one of their cases as the guardian of the estate on a gentleman who was significantly financially abused to the tune of probably some $500,000 to $750,000. Unfortunately, that is not an exception to the rule these days. There are a number of ways that the abuses start. Sometimes they are just the random emails or even mail for, let's say, a sweepstakes or lottery type winnings. There are the phone calls for the unknown nephew or grandniece that is in jail somewhere in Africa. There are the inheritances that are coming from some other country, from a distant relative you did not know about. There are also those that are closer to home. It could be opportunistic, a neighbor or a painter or someone coming into the home that finds an opportunity to simply get close to a person and gain their confidence, maybe get paid extra. All of a sudden it's borrowing some money to buy a car, or I'm short of money to make my rent payment. And the process starts, and all of a sudden we're looking at potentially even a power of attorney onto a bank account, and that person ends up accessing and using and abusing that person financially. Or sometimes it is family members who are managed to become the power of attorney, even over the objections, let's say, of other siblings. It seems to be that it's often the financially inept child that is the one who becomes the power of attorney, and then of course a mom or dad's funds are long gone. I spent a lot of time trying to track down what happened, trying to recover money when possible, but unfortunately most of the time that is simply not a possibility, because the money has been long spent, either just by spendthrift spending on the person who stole it, because they, as in the case that Peggy and I are currently working on, a Jamaican individual who was involved and money got wired, or because the person has a gambling addiction or a drug addiction and the funds simply are not there to recover. Prosecution is also one of those things that rarely ever happens. So often it ends up being just the public, all of us, who end up paying for that when the person no longer has the funds to manage in their own home and must go into some kind of an assisted living type of circumstance. The best thing for anyone to do is, if you have any suspicions, is to contact the authorities. It's the ADRC or social workers maybe that you're working with at a county. If the person is hospitalized, even a social worker at the hospital is a good person to contact. Contacting attorneys who specialize in this area or the corporation counsel's office for your local county is also not a bad idea. And there's always filing a report with the police. The county, the ADRC, they have ability to investigate and to get information and determine if there is a problem, and then to intercede in some fashion if there is and the person does want assistance. Unfortunately, often people are still competent and able to handle their own affairs and are not quite recognizing that they're being taken advantage of or don't want to do anything about it. And in that case, it really is a need for those of us working with them to educate them as best as possible and say, no, you are being taken advantage of, and we do need to do something here to protect you. These are difficult conversations to have, but the best is always to reach out to those who are used to having those conversations and get them involved.
Abuse is very pervasive. It happens very quickly. It happens very easily, and much more often than people would expect. There's also, it usually doesn't get reported because there's some level of embarrassment or shame that goes along with knowing that you got taken advantage of. That is simply, it is embarrassing, but you know what? If you call the authorities and the right people, you can stop the bleeding of the money, and there is some chance of prosecution depending on the circumstances. In Waukesha County, if you think or know or suspect that somebody is being financially abused, please call the Waukesha ADRC at 262-548-7848. And in honor of World Financial Elder Abuse Awareness Day on June 15th, we present this video to everybody who is possibly at risk and anybody who knows someone who's at risk. So please, if you suspect somebody is being taken advantage of, please report to your local county ADRC. Thank you very much.